Hi, Bob Morgan with Disruptive Leadership Academy. Thanks a lot for taking a few minutes here. Hopefully, we'll give you some information that'll help you reach that top tier 20%. That's the goal. Today, we're going to talk about getting on the horn, the incoming sales call. Usually, when I bring that up, eyes glass over. Why are we talking about this? I already know how to do that. I have mystery shop dealers all over this country, and no, we don't. There's that top 20% to do. I mean, they make 80% of the money. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. My companies spend thousands of dollars training their salespeople on how to take calls. Let's take some time and mystery shop, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's not very much competition out there. A typical sales call goes something like this. Hi, I'm calling about that black expedition you guys have. Oh, yeah, that was a nice expedition. We sold it yesterday. I'm sorry, that's sold. Is there anything else you'd be interested in? No. Thanks a lot. Then they hang up. That was a waste of time, wasn't it? The thing is we can develop and we can acquire certain set of skills that will help us to own the market. I know one thing I know, and this is a fact. The best salespeople, the top 20% in the market, they make 80% of the money. And they have a particular set of skills that they've acquired. I will find your questions and I will answer them. Let me tell you something. You can too. This is a learned thing. You can get into that top 20%. How do you do it? Practice, effort, 1,000 free throws a day. You can do it. That's what this is about. We're not going to talk about scripts, although I'll bring that up a little. That's not what this is about. We're going to talk about the essential things that go into a good sales call and how do you get the customer to come into the dealership. Because think about this. What is the goal of an incoming sales call? And on that paper you've got, that worksheet you've got there, write it down. Most of you are going to write that it's an appointment. And that's true, it is. You need to get an appointment. But there are many other things that are part of the goal. You should seek an appointment from them, not just their name and number. You have the right to ask them to come in. They called you, remember? But the goal of an incoming sales call also is to establish trust and rapport. Make them want to meet you. Make them want to come in. Make them want to get a sense of urgency and get down to the dealership. Don't avoid answering their questions. That just creates issues. Then they start to think that you're just like all the rest of the salespeople out there. Now, you don't want to give them every bit of information and work the whole deal with them. And sometimes you may have to because they live in Albuquerque and you're in Salt Lake City. But for the most part, you don't. You don't want them to think that they've completely shopped you, that they get a lot better information if they come in to see you. And when you've answered all their questions, they won't. But the goal of an incoming sales call is this: to get the customer to come into the dealership with an appointment. That's it. Everything you do should be focused on that. Focused on the sense of urgency, focused on what a great car it is, focused on what a great decision it is. Yep. Ask. That's it. That's the goal of an incoming sales call. Questions and statements for every call. I said we wouldn't talk about scripts much, so we won't, but these are some things that should happen on every sales call you have. And one of my pet peeves, I hear this all the time, and you heard it in the role play that I did earlier. Why would we tell the customer that that car is sold? That makes no sense to me. It doesn't go well. Yeah, we sold that. I'm sorry. Is there anything else you'd want to look at? No, there's not. Well, that's because he hasn't looked at anything else yet. Don't tell him it's sold. We'll get into something that you can tell him here in just a minute. But as you get to that, start the phone call out with, that's a great vehicle. We've had a lot of people looking at that car. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you for calling. And this is where you'll get into now. Make them an offer that they can't refuse. Now that sounds kind of corny, but it's true. We've had a lot of people looking at that Expedition. I need to check if it's still available. Will you give me a minute to do that? What would be the best number to get back to you? Is that your cell phone? Good. So if it is available, I'd like to do a quick walk around video and send that to you with my contact information. Would that be okay? Sure. There's the offer they can't refuse. Of course they're going to say yes. They want to get a real live picture of it. You can show a picture of you and your card and a couple of things about the expedition and tell them some more. And then you can sell it, sell it, sell it. You can talk the whole time. Look at this, look at that, look at the navigation. This is a great vehicle. I'm the one who sold it originally, whatever it is. You can go on a minute diatribe about selling this vehicle to them. Then you send them the contact information. And ask them at that time, is this the only vehicle you're looking at, or have you looked at others? And they'll tell you, well, I'm really just looking for an expedition, or I want an SUV. Oh, I looked at Tahoes. Well, if I have something else that's similar to this, would you like me to send some information on that as well? So I haven't told them that it's sold. And they're going to say yes. So you make them an offer they can't refuse. It's that simple. Now, as you're talking to them, you ask them some questions. Where did you see us? Oh, okay. So you've done a lot of research, I take it. Sounds like you know what you're talking about. And tell them what a nice car that is. Okay. So what if you know that it is here? And you just say the same thing. Let me check to make sure it's available. And if it is, would you like me to do a quick walk around, point out a couple of features to it, and send it to you with my contact information? Now you've opened the door for them to call you, because for you to call them and them to answer, because how many times you get ghosted when you do that to a customer? Give me a few minutes and I'll call you back, and then they never answer again. That's because they're talking to somebody else. But you've given them a reason to answer, and that's what it's about. So you got to ask and ask and ask and ask. The more you ask, the more they'll talk about it. Sounds like you've done a lot of research. Is it okay if I send you this? What's your name? Where are you from? Where are you calling from? Do you know how to get to the dealership? Those are just simple questions that they're expecting you to ask. So ask, ask, and ask. Next, let's talk about some important steps for every phone call. This has to happen every phone call. There can be no exceptions. First off, you have to be prepared. And it's surprising, that may sound redundant, but how many people are not prepared when they answer the phone? Then I'm calling about that black expedition. You hear the salesman looking it up. Oh, just a minute here. What was the stock number? Yeah. You've already got that information. Where they saw it was on KSL. Where they're from. Have they looked at any others? Now be prepared. Be prepared. Have a script maybe sitting next to it so you can remind yourself. You don't have to ask two-door, four-door, light color, dark color. They're calling about specific cars most of the time. Use a basic outline of the script and have it sitting there. And while you've got it sitting there, you've got a piece of paper, maybe these notes. Take some notes. One of the lies that I tell myself almost every day is that I don't need to write this down. I will remember. No, you won't. Neither will the customer. Do you got a minute? Write down my name. It's Bob Morgan. I'm going to send you my information in just a minute. You need to make a real effort to relax the caller. They're uptight. All they want is get your information, get off the phone. They're afraid. And how do you do that? Two ways. One, you focus on the call, and two, you smile. And what do I mean? It seems kind of foolish to say, well, you got to focus on the call. Of course you do. But it's surprising how many people are not focused on the call. They need to pay attention to the customer. Be prepared, take notes, ask questions. That's how you focus on the call. And the other thing is this. Be prepared. Take notes. Focus on the call. Try and relax the caller. Or how about this? Be prepared. Take some notes. Focus on that call. Smile. Make a deliberate effort to relax them. If you're smiling, the world smiles with you. Everybody relaxes. Makes it a lot easier to ask questions, to ask for the sale, to do all of those things. Just smile. Doesn't hurt you. Next, You got to allow your customer to do most of the talking. That's why I said ask, ask, ask. Where are you from? Where'd you see it? Is it the only car you're looking at? If you like this car when you come in, or you're prepared to do something on it, you could ask all sorts of things. Just ask, ask, ask. Get them talking about themselves, about the car, and what they're doing, how long they've been looking. You can find out a lot of things with this. And you can ask them to come in. Use the basic outline of the script, as I said, but you can ask to make the appointment. And don't forget to give the caller your name. If you're not going to send them a video, make sure they write down your name. It's surprising how many customers come into the dealership and they say, yeah, I was talking to a guy yesterday, I don't know his name. I can't remember who he was, what his name was. Take the time, be prepared, take notes. It works. More important steps to the phone call coming up. Phone calls are not rocket science, but it's important that we understand these steps. Using or memorizing a script can be useful. As I said, take some notes, keep a script next to you, right there by your phone, practice it, rehearse it, practice, practice, practice. Amazing what will happen. Make sure you get the caller's name and their phone numbers. Now, if you've done what I said and you made them an offer that they can't refuse, you already got that information. But that needs to be a big part of it. Big part of it. Set a specific appointment. You owe it to yourself to come in and take a look at this expedition, Bob. When would be a good time? I got time this afternoon or tomorrow. Tomorrow? Okay, what time would be good tomorrow? Lunchtime? Well, how about noon? I'll make sure I'm available. I just want to make sure we'll have it pulled up so that you can take a look at it. If it gets sold between now and then, I'll give you a call. Specific time. Give your time value. And never forget to thank them for their time. Thanks a lot for calling. I appreciate that. I really want to earn your business. And let me know if there's anything I can do. And I'll send you that information. Then I'll follow up with a call. And let's set a time up when you can come in and take a look at this expedition. You owe it to yourself. And last of all, this is what I was talking about earlier. Use the availability concept in your head. Is the inventory that you can see the only inventory you can sell? No. No, it's not. You got lots of options. You could go onto Manheim or OVE and buy exactly what they're looking for right now, as long as they're willing to pay for it. So remember, they're available. They're available. Now, if you make an appointment, go to your manager and have them confirm the appointment. Call. It increases exponentially the chances of them showing up. And most dealerships, if the appointment shows up, you're between 50 and 75% closing rate. Who wouldn't take that? Wow. So remember that. Use the availability concept. Take notes. Smile. Be prepared. Because you too can have a particular set of skills. Phone calls can be easy. And remember this, you're the expert. They called you. Master this skill. Practice it. Role play with your partner. Role play with your manager. Call other dealers, mystery shop. You'll see the competition is not fierce. You can score with them. You can become the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryant of phones. And if you do that, your income goes like this. It's up to you. You can do it. Be prepared. Smile. Make them offers they can't refuse. Get them to come into the dealership. That's what it's about. Feel free to call me anytime. I'm happy to discuss this with anyone. I appreciate you taking the time. Remember, my name is Bob Morgan. I'm with Disruptive Leadership. You can do it. You can develop those specific set of skills. Thank you.